I was almost getting ready to say good evening and welcome. You are tuned in and watching the Zone Blitz, and for the first time ever, we didn't come into music, but my girl Sonja took care of that. We had a little introductory music session there.
Yes.
So thanks for tuning in and welcome. Again, this is the Zone Blitz. This is the weekly Tuesday night webcast produced by NFL Female, www.nflfemale.com. Be sure to jump on there and check out all the latest and greatest articles by all the women who cover all 32 NFL teams. I am Sharona. I am the official NFL fan reporter for NFL Female. And as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Sonja and Kat. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it on over to Sonja and let her introduce herself and bring in Kat.
All right. Hi, everybody. Again, like Sharona said, I'm Sonja. I am the official fan reporter for the Detroit Lions for NFL Female. You can find me on Twitter at mom3rn. And it's Tuesday, and I'm excited to talk with you ladies. We got some interesting things to talk about. So, Kat, want to hi to everybody, and then I'll get us going.
I'm Kat. I represent the Saints for NFL Female. You can find me on Twitter at Lash-Williams with a K instead of a C. I never know how to describe my Twitter handle. It's awkward. I'll find it, though. I'll find it. Anyway.
That's okay. That's all right. All right. Well,
we'll get there.
Yeah, so let's get started. It has been an interesting past week in the NFL. Training camp has opened, preseason games have started, so football's just about back, all except for the real games. But, there's been a couple things that I kind of want to get into, and I think probably one that's a good one to kind of get started with is James Harrison. He took a couple trophies from his kids because they were just for participation. They didn't win anything. It was just participation. What do you guys think? A lot of people have been chiming in and giving their 2 cents, but what do you guys think about this? Kat, we'll start with you.
I remember at tennis camp when I think I hit maybe 2 of the ball the entire 2-week period. I received best attitude. That was my trophy, and I remember.
Oh, Kat, are you there?
I'm not going to celebrate it, but I feel like the petition was there that it was garbage. I feel like today that's not really a thing, and now kids actually think these are real trophies, which I think creates a sense of entitlement. I like his choice. It was tough. It makes him come across as a hard parent, but would you rather have that or kids who think they're the best for no reason whatsoever?
Yeah.
I agree. What do you think, Sharona?
Yeah, I tend to agree with Kat on that. I, think that participation trophies came about through good intentions. But I do think that perhaps we're seeing this new generation, this younger generation that's coming up. I was on Twitter a few days ago, and I think I actually RT'd this. There was a discussion about apparently young high school guys are coming into these college programs, and there has been an increase in the number of young players that are transferring from colleges because they aren't they're not getting the opportunities that they want. And one of the media guys participating in this Twitter discussion was talking about that and talking about how it's that generation. There's definitely an entitlement. Sense of entitlement. I think it was Chris Lowe actually at ESPN was part of this discussion, and so I thought that was interesting. I don't know if that discussion came about because of James Harrison. It might. I mean, because I think that he made a very valid point.
He did. He made a valid point, and you don't want to reward kids just for participating because then there's no reason to try in a way. There's no reason to kind of, put forth some effort and really try and make yourself better. If you really want to make yourself better, you're going to. You really are. And so, like you ladies, I am going to have to agree with what he did, because, you know, you want your child to do well, and you want your child to understand that in order to work, or in order to win and achieve real things, you have to work hard. And that's in any sport. That's just in life. That's a great life lesson to learn. Things just aren't going to get handed to you. You have to work for them. And, you know, my daughter's in gymnastics right now, and they got ribbons. They didn't get, like, medals or anything like that, but they just got ribbons for how well they think they did. And this time they weren't competing against each other, so to speak, but more so, are you doing your best? And if you are doing your best, you're going to get rewarded, you know, with just a ribbon. But still, you're doing your best, and it gives you something to kind of work for. So I get it. I do understand that. I do also understand how some people feel that, you know, well, maybe they should all get something because, you know, maybe like in the way younger, you know, like t-ball or something like that, because it's just t-ball. I coached t-ball, and trust me, that was my theme song. It's just t-ball. Who cares, you know? But if it's something competitive, like, you know, if you're on that travel soccer team or whatever, or in his son's case, you know, their football team, you need to actually work hard, especially if you think that this is something that you want to do, you know, going forward and into your college career, and, you know, maybe even make it a profession. You got to work at it. Nobody's just going to hand you things, you know? That's just me.
Yeah.
But, you know, I got preached that a lot in life. My mom told me that. You have to work for it, Sonja. Nobody's just going to give you anything. Okay. So, yes, I understand. I get it completely, but your kids have to work for something. People have to work for things. And also it means more, I think, to the kid, too, if you know that you put in that hard work and you stayed, you know, an extra half hour after practice with the coach and stuff like that. If you put in that work and you get the reward, you're going to keep it up. And so I think that's also good, too, because it teaches that extra work ethic, that hard work ethic. What do you guys think about that?
No, I agree. I agree with everything you said, Sonja. Yep. You know, maybe there's a place, and I think that there is a place for participation trophies when they're at that younger age. But once it becomes a more competitive type environment, competitive type sport, then that needs to go by the wayside.
And I think you have to consider a sense of realism that, quite frankly, you're right, with t-ball, you don't need to break it to 3-year-old Timmy that you're never going to be, you know, a starting pitcher for the Yankees. You don't need to be like, nope, your time's up, bro, get out. But, you know, when someone's in middle school, high school, this is going to be something they're actually putting a lot of their effort into. Yeah, you have to look in the hard mirror. You have to take a hard look at yourself and be like, are you going to make this? Is it going to get you to college? If it gets you to college, is that going to be, okay, that's where you go? Or is it going to get you to the NFL? But if you have 13-year-olds who, let's be real, are 5 foot, 80 pounds, yeah, they're probably never going to play in the NFL, barring a massive growth spurt. Or Darren Sproles, who's 5'6". But, yeah. I mean, barring a few cases, but in general, like, it does, kids need to be taught realistic lessons about who's making it big, and who should just keep it as a fun hobby and not let it overtake their lives.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you're Timmy on the t-ball team.
Yeah. Yeah, that leads in, you know, we'll need to get, I know some coaches, we'll need to get some coaches, some youth league coaches on here and have a discussion one night about that, because, you know, Timmy on the t-ball team, if he has a powerful enough family, is going to be playing high school baseball. Not necessarily because he's the best, but because he has that powerful family behind him.
Yeah.
And the one who's in the coach's ear. But that leads to a whole nother set of issues.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That leads us down a very dark rabbit hole.
Exactly. That's. I hope James Harrison wasn't talking about that. But, you know, I do agree, though. College kids are not understanding, I think, and that's part of, well, some, not all, some are starting to realize that, hey, you got to work, you know, and you can't just pick up and leave once it gets hard or when somebody is challenging you. That's when you should want to try your best and try your hardest. So, you know,
this tweet was about the quarterback position, and if I remember correctly, it was like a high number, like 32 young quarterbacks had transferred from the team that they not even originally committed to, because we know commitments, change before they get there, but the team that they began playing for in college, that's an incredibly high number.
It is. It is.
Yeah, that's very high.
And again, that just kind of goes back to the, I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to, no, that's just not how it works. And I think that if you're going to want, and hats off, James Harrison, for teaching your kids that excellent life lesson, regardless of what people say. I mean, yes, everybody has their opinion, but we here at the Zone Blitz feel that, James Harrison, you made the right decision. Fist bump.
Well, he's got it. James Harrison used to love to hate James. We talked about this last week with Phillip Rivers. James Harrison is another one of those guys. There's got to be a heel in sports, right? I mean, the heel role is needed, and he was one of those guys that you could love to hate but still respect, right?
Right.
He's got an interesting backstory. I mean, he's a guy that he was a walk-on football player at Wake Forest that he walked on to?
I think so.
Yeah.
He was cut from a few teams before didn't he play in NFL Europe or the CFL or someplace like that?
I think it was the CFL.
So, I mean, he would know, right?
Right, exactly. And so, who better to teach that life lesson to? And, you just got to keep trying. And, bottom line, that's what you got to do. Got to try. So, James Harrison, like I said, we here at the Zone Blitz support you. Good parent.
We approve. The Zone Blitz stamp of approval. But you never thought you'd hear that.
Probably not. Probably not. So, on that kind of very same note, and, talking about working hard and earning things, our friend and yours, RG3, said a few things this week. I wasn't sure if you guys were aware, but he feels as though he is the best quarterback. Okay. Do you want your child and or quarterback to have that much confidence, even though you know that it's kind of shaky, it's kind of iffy? What do you guys think? Sharona, we'll start with you.
I think that RG3, when he says these things, that they sound great in his head, and it's the kind of thing that you think, oh wow, that sounds great, but you don't maybe think through it to all the way out to what people are going to think when they hear it. I mean, it sounds good in here. It was interesting, though, didn't Washington pull media access to him too? And I don't follow him anymore, but Bart Hubbard, who writes for the New York Post, one of his tweets was RT'd into my timeline. Apparently, he had gone to Washington to interview the guy, and they pulled media availability for him. And basically, it's like, we know kind of what he's getting at there, but you can't talk to him anymore. So, I mean, you want your quarterback to have sense. I mean, you want your quarterback to have confidence, but you also want him to have common sense too. And I just don't know if RG3 has much in the way of common sense.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I don't think he does. But anyways, that's me. Kat, what do you think about our friend, Mr. Robert Griffin III?
I think you never want your quarterback to be like, yeah, I'm solidly average. I occasionally play well, and you want him to have a little bit of, chutzpah, a little bit of fight in him. But serious trend of it coming back to bite you when you're an athlete who says something like that. It always seems to, if you declare you're the best, or we're gonna destroy them in the Super Bowl, we're gonna go, I'm trying to think of other 16-0, or if it's an NBA series, we're gonna go 4-0. I don't know what baseball is. I don't follow baseball. My point is, it never goes well for you when you say that. It's like, regardless of whether or not you believe it, you are one out of 32 of the best quarterbacks in the world, I'll probably say.
Okay.
Starting quarterbacks.
Okay, I'll give you that.
You only have 31 people who could potentially be better than you. But keep it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it to yourself.
He has gotten himself in a lot of trouble by opening up his mouth the last season and a half or so. And, you'd think that he'd learn to just kind of zip it, say the minimum, and keep moving. But even when he did that kind of snarkily, too, last year. So it's just like he just can't win. So why even talk?
But you have to wonder if he's communicating like this with the media.
Right.
I mean, look, dude has made the last two of his only NFL head coaches basically hate him. I mean,
right.
And you thought, okay, it's just Mike Shanahan, who's notoriously an asshole, right?
Right.
But Jay Gruden's not, and you have to wonder,
is he a coach killer? And he's. I mean, especially if you gotta wonder that, especially if their owner, I was about to say Dan Gilbert, but Dan Snyder, if if they're besties,
same difference, right?
Yeah, huge difference. If they're total besties, then it's gonna be kind of hard. But I don't know. You just have to get RG3 just to zip it. And hope that this year, does he have potential? Yes, obviously he does, because
he's very talented.
He was very talented. He was very good, Rookie of the Year. But after the injuries, I think that kind of got in his head, and obviously, just hasn't been good.
You know who he reminds me of in a way? I mean, not physically, not at all, but in how he struggles to express himself to the media, and somewhat the injuries and the playing style and whatever. And that's Vince Young.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
A guy who was so talented early on in his career, and it went through some similar hiccups, road bumps, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. And, again, it kind of also brings back the talk of, did he just peak and catch? Is he one of those Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks that just, gave it all and then is going to suck it up in the NFL? Who knows? But like you said, he's talented. Mm-hmm. He's got it. But I don't know.
Yeah. How many wins do you think that he needs, that Washington needs this season to stave off the pitchforks and
They need to at least win 10 games. Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't see any way they're winning 10 games.
No, I don't either. But in order to stave off the pitchforks and the restless natives, 10. Ooh. Yeah, 10 wins.
10.
It could get ugly in Washington this year.
Very.
Yeah.
Very, very ugly. And, it could be. Because, how Jay Gruden just kind of threw him under the bus a little bit last year, a couple times. And, it could just really get worse if he's not on their good side. And if they're losing, just run. Just run. Oh, goodness. Sticking with the NFC East, let's move up north a little bit to my other friend up there, Mr. Manning, Eli Manning. Eli Manning wants to get paid, guys. And,
He's been paid. He wants to get paid on his second time around.
He wants to get paid, his second time around. What do you guys think? I mean, okay, yeah, he does have 2 Super Bowls. You're right. He does. Through no fault of his own, kind of in a way, right? Thanks to a couple circus catches by some people.
Yeah, and a very strong defensive line and pretty good secondary at the time as well.
Exactly. So does he deserve to be the highest paid or one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL? Kat, what do you think?
No, okay. Aaron Rodgers currently that honor as highest paid quarterback. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers, the guy. I mean, I think it was Mike Triplett. I read today was saying like if I could draft him today above anybody else in the league, I would still draft him at his age. Like he's amazing. And Eli Manning, who, he did not win those Super Bowls. He may have been the MVP, but Tom Brady lost one of the Super Bowls more than Eli Manning winning it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just, no. He's a good quarterback, but I wouldn't even put him in top 15. I would say solid middle of the pack quarterback.
Okay.
Who's had some luck.
I'll agree. What do you think, Sharona?
You can't spell elite without Eli?
That's right. You cannot spell elite without Eli.
He doesn't deserve to be the highest paid player in the league, in my opinion. It was interesting. I hopped on NFL Nation blog just to update real quick and see what was popping, what was going on, and the guys on there were talking a little bit about that and talking about who should be the highest paid player in the league. Aaron Rodgers got plenty of love. There's some crazy folk out there who think Tom Brady. I don't think Tom Brady deserves to be the highest paid player on his team, much less in the league. But okay. But yeah, Eli. I mean, Eli has some talent. I don't want this to sound like I don't think that he doesn't have any talent. I think that he does, and he was certainly part of that, right? I mean,
right.
But part of the problem is that we haven't even seen that guy in a few years, and that guy was it was a big debate on whether he was elite or not, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that guy's gone. I mean, we'd like to see that guy again, Eli, because
I mean, just a flash.
You've been kind of sucking it up for the past few years. So, no, I mean, and remind me, how many games did y'all win last year?
Ooh.
5?
5, I think.
5 or 6.
5.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
not memorable.
Get back to us on that one.
Yeah. I agree. Again, I agree with everybody. And it does kind of make me wonder what they're scared of, kind of, in New York land, because they're keeping Tom Coughlin, they're keeping Eli, and it's like, okay, do you see how not good you guys are? Don't you want to make
they've got poor JPP, maybe doesn't have a thumb.
Exactly. It blew his finger off. And, it's just awful. What's going on up there? And I think, God bless the Mars, and, I'm sure that they do know what they're doing. But at the same time, I don't know. I think it's time for some changes to be made. I was very surprised that they went ahead and extended Tom Coughlin another couple years.
I was too.
I just think that maybe it's time for just a little bit of a shakeup, and you're kind of living on those 2 Super Bowls a little bit much, you know? And, I mean, what was it? Was it his second Super Bowl where they pretty much just went on that winning streak? Like they
on
were...
the road.
Yeah.
On the road and one on the road, which is hard to do.
Very hard to do, and that consistently.
But that was 2007, right? I mean, we're a long way away from that, baby.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I don't think he deserves to be the highest paid player. And Super Bowl wins, okay, but there's more to it than that. And we all know that it's a what have you done for me lately type of league. And he hasn't done jack squat.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to bite my tongue there. But
you have to question how many games they would have won last year if Odell Beckham Jr.
didn't bail him out.
Healthy and been so awesome.
Right. Exactly. And who's their tight end, that rookie tight end that they had last year?
Larry Donnell.
Yeah. I just thought about that too.
I'm a big Rashad Jennings fan. I like Rashad Jennings.
But yeah, so I don't know. I don't think he deserves to be the highest paid quarterback. Middle of the pack type of quarterback. I don't even think he deserves Phillip Rivers type money. To be quite honest, I don't think he deserves Phillip Rivers type money.
Well, I think Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback than him.
Yeah,
that is valid, actually. Yeah,
he is.
He's more consistent.
A better quarterback.
If you guys had to name your top 5 quarterbacks in the league, who would they be?
Cat, go first.
I'll name mine. I'll start.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Tom Brady.
Yes.
I still think Peyton Manning's top 5. Phillip Rivers. Tony Romo or Cam Newton.
Really?
Well, Matt Ryan. I guess you got to put Matt Ryan maybe in there. Yeah.
Wow. No Russell Wilson.
No, Ben Roethlisberger would have to be in there.
Oof. Wow.
I would put Russell Wilson in the top 10. He'd probably be 7. Russell Wilson would probably be 7.
Okay. Okay. Aaron, for sure. Aaron, Brady, Manning, all my top 3.
Yep.
Big Ben, I think he's very good. Phillip, I'm not really willing to go number 5 on. I would probably say maybe Andrew Luck before him.
Oh, you know what? I was totally spacing out on Andrew Luck. Yeah, Andrew Luck would be my 5.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Manning, Brady, Rodgers, Big Ben, Andrew Luck.
Whew. I gotta go with the same top 3. I don't think you can't argue with those 3. I'm gonna go Andrew Luck as well, and then you know what? Not just because I'm a Saints fan. I'm going Drew freaking Brees.
Yeah.
He had another 5,000 plus yard season last year.
Yeah. Okay, I want a do-over.
You can't forget. Thank you, Drew Brees. You know what? I will scream at you and demand your retirement. I promise at least 4 games this season, but he'll still probably have another 5,000 yard season. That's the hilarious thing.
Yeah.
A lot of teams would give private parts to have Drew Brees. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady.
I'm totally vibing right now because I really thought that too.
Peyton Manning. Drew Brees, Andrew Luck. That would be my top 5.
Thank you. Those are the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
I'm so sorry, Kat. I just,
It's all right. I have Breeze's back always.
She's got Breeze's back.
Oh, and it's not just because he's so adorable.
No, he is adorable.
He is a very good quarterback, and he is one that I think, he would make a top 5. Okay, he'd make my 6th. Okay, is that okay? He'd make my 6th.
You know what? I'll give you 6.
Thanks. I didn't put my QB in there, so we're good.
Where would you put Russell Wilson, Sonja?
Good question. Where would I put Russ? Okay, so maybe I would tie him and Drew Brees.
Oh.
No. Oh God.
I know, right? Uh-oh. Kat's gonna throw up now. No,
Russell.
Okay.
He won a Super Bowl.
He did win a Super Bowl, but so did Drew. But I think I'll put Drew before Russell because I think Drew is actually able, and Seahawks fans, it's not because I don't like Russ. It's just I think Drew is just a little bit, I don't know, different, well-rounded more, I think. Maybe he's got more talent to go to than Russell.
Well,
but I don't
know. You know, give him a few more years. We may be putting him up there with Breeze. I mean, right now he hasn't had to be more than, you know, what he is. I mean, they almost won back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think for sure in a couple more years he'll be up there. He'll be up there. All he does is win. You know, all Russell does is win. I know. I'm sorry. Cat's over there retching.
I mean, but I can't deny he's a good I just can't do it. I can't. He should be in my top 10, but emotionally, I can't do it.
You'll have to do like a common sense top 10 and then your emotional top 10. That's what.
Exactly. I mean, Drew Brees is still in my top 5.
Emotionally.
Yeah, I mean,
Emotionally.
I think right now Drew Brees is still a better quarterback than Russell Wilson, but I think that that gap has definitely lessened.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Came into the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree.
Very, very good, very good. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I had with the, you know, NFL updates and news and things. Anything else that, you know, we could have touched on that we didn't? I intentionally did not want to talk about Brady and Deflategate because I'm so way beyond over it, and I'm done. Just do whatever you guys got to do. I'm over it. I'm beyond over it. I'm sad that it's dragged out this long. This is absolutely ridiculous.
We could talk about all of the injuries to the Bills' backfield. All of their running backs have hamstring injuries, or I don't know what's going on with Carlos Williams. What's up with Joe Bell?
Let's see. Not too much. He's working hard to get back, but you know, it might not be as hard anymore because of Mr. Amir Abdullah's kind of little 46-yard scamper that has everybody, you know, going nuts right now, which is a good thing. Yeah. But he's still working, though, on coming back. And I haven't heard too much about this upcoming preseason game, which is against the Redskins. But, yeah, I haven't heard too much. So we'll see what happens. I'm thinking, though, he'll be back by the season starts for sure.
Yeah.
Had, what's these? Last week had the Bills signed our favorite our punch-out linebacker.
Oh,
yeah, they signed him, which
IK, yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember if we talked about it. IK.
We didn't talk about it, but that is, you know, Bill's going to do what Rex going to Rex. Let's put it that way. Rex going to Rex.
I have never admired Rex Ryan more.
Yeah.
Like I said,
what a choice.
I think that's a conspiracy theory right there. I think.
Yeah.
I think Rex put him up to it. Like, look, just do this. I got your back. I know. You know. I mean, literally the next day. Are you kidding me? And I'm not a conspiracy theorist type person, but come on now. Come on. I smell a little bit of a rat there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, although, I mean, if he was doing it for competitive advantage reasons, he might have wanted him to knock out Ryan Fitzmagic.
But then again, another conspiracy theory. The leading person goes down, here comes Ryan, you know? So, hey, maybe he's putting some juju out there, too.
Could be. It very well could be. You know, speaking of the Bills, though, and Rex Ryan and quarterbacks and what have you. It sounds like Tyrod Taylor may win the Bills' starting quarterback job.
Poor EJ Manuel.
I know.
Yeah.
Poor EJ Manuel.
I know. I just think that the injury, he tried to play through it, and then he tried to come back too soon. And I think that that injury really just derailed his career. There's still time. It's not a good sign that he's not winning that job coming out of camp.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's the problem there. Is that you shouldn't be so clearly not the favorite right now.
Exactly.
In his position. It's a little too obvious that he's kind of on the outside of it.
Yeah.
And that's your first round pick. That's your quarterback.
That's your guy.
Right?
But look, in retrospect, that quarterback class was stinky.
Yeah. Looking back. Yeah. It was not good. It was not good. And, I don't know. But then I also just feel bad because I think he was just in a bad situation. And, you hate to kind of do this, but he was honestly probably at the wrong place at the wrong time. You just feel awful because maybe had he been in a different situation with a different team, things might be a little better. Somebody who could actually coach him up and really, give him a good, solid foundation. Yeah. So I just feel bad for him. I just do.
None of those guys, none of those guys are lighting it up. We talked about New York, Ryan Nassib. He's not Mike Glennon. They drafted Jameis Winston, EJ Manuel. We talked about him. Tyler Wilson. I don't know. He's probably in camp somewhere with somebody, but hasn't that Landry Jones, Matt Barkley, he hasn't shown anything. Geno Smith we talked about. Yeah, it's really slim pickings there.
The more you list them off, it's like that's ridiculous.
I know. It's just sad. And we were all so excited about everybody coming out too, weren't we?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's depressing.
Yeah.
It is. That's really depressing.
Yeah.
No. Okay, enough of the sadness.
Moving on.
I know. Moment of silence for quarterbacks.
So Kat, what's up with your secondary? I saw that they're dealing with a bunch of injuries right now.
They're plagued. Again, our preseason did not inspire me our first game did not inspire me with the hopes that I thought would be coming after all this talk about really beefing up the secondary. No, we're not. No. And then how many guys went out in the game? I think
I was about to say, do you have a team left after your preseason game? Because I swear every other tweet was like, so-and-so down, so-and-so getting carted off. I was like, uh-oh.
My big guy that I have been cheering for is Chip Bro. He had an amazing. He didn't end up. The guy ended up dropping the pass, but he stuck on his receiver like glue, and then he's down. And I'm like, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me, guys? You gotta. Yeah. So I'm concerned. I looked at the depth chart and on a projected 53-man roster, and half of it was empty because it was like, ooh, there's no one.
Did you have a slow year?
No one. I did. I might have to. I'm really glad I did not ambitiously project us as the Super Bowl winners. Again, I'm sure Russ is going to react to my hyperbole after preseason game 1. But no, our secondary definitely plagued by injury. Luckily, most of them seem like they're coming back pretty quickly, which is nice. Nothing too serious to overcome, which is pretty good.
Right. You do like that. You do like that. Oh, wake up, lady.
we should get the Pope to bless our secondary, is what I'm saying.
It can't hurt. And they are down in New Orleans, and they make up concoctions and special voodoo tricks. There you go. Exactly.
Let's just keep our boys in the back nice and nice and healthy this year. But yeah, definitely a tough. It's already tough seeing them getting this beaten up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's so hard to see all these injuries in the preseason, and um, you never want to see injuries, and there were a lot over the weekend.
Yeah.
There were a lot. And again, is this more just people just reporting it because that's what's going on and it's just our society now, it's just 24/7, we know everything? Or,
True.
because it seems like every year there are a handful of injuries that are in training camp. But a lot
Yeah.
more of them, I think, this year are kind of like not career ending, but season ending. And so it's just, I don't know. Is this something that we just see every year? It seems like that to me, anyways.
Yeah, that's a valid point. I hadn't thought of the 24 news cycle. Kind of just, it's always been there, but we're just more aware of it
I was
now.
about to say we're more tuned
Yeah.
in. We're more tuned in.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think
like
there's
the fact. Oh, go ahead,
I,
Sharona.
I don't know. I think there's more injuries too. I was talking to. We need to get Will Carroll back on
Oh
here,
yeah, our injury expert.
our injury guy, and let him talk to us about this. The NFL went through about 18, 24 months, something like that, where I really thought that there was increase in ACL injuries, and
Hmm.
he thought so too. There had, at that time when we were talking about it, there hadn't been any real statistical studies, and it's so hard, right? I mean, because uh, playing fields are different, and you
Hmm.
have different training and different positions and what have you. But I do think that it's a combination of those two things, but I think that we are seeing more injuries.
I think we're probably seeing more like ACL knee type of injuries, and I think we did. I saw a stat last year, I do believe, where it showed that the number of knee injuries and ACLs and stuff like that was going up, and they were relating it more to how defenses are more able to tackle now, and that you can't aim high, and that you have to start aiming lower. And so as we're aiming lower, we're taking out people's knees, not intentionally, but
Hmm.
this is what's happening. And I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that is true, and that is going up. And then also, they talk about how they're off season and they're not allowed to train, because of the CBA and their training stipulations and things
Yeah.
like that. And that probably leads into it as well, in a
They were
way. But
that
then
was supposedly designed though to make it safer and better for guys, but
exactly.
Yeah.
But then you wonder about their own personal training regimens and if it's on par with what the NFL has set forward and things like that. So, I don't know. Questions, weirdness.
I saw
very.
one of the Giants. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, a Giants player. I don't remember who it was. I'm blanking completely. Was talking about the softness of the camp. That first preseason game where you
Oh yeah.
haven't been hitting hard, you haven't been playing hard, is kind of It was his speculation that could lead to some of this sort of thing when you're not conditioned to it, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're back into it again. Your body's not prepped for it a little bit.
Yeah, there's
I don't
definitely a
know.
difference in being in shape and in being in game shape.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And not being able to play with pad, like the limited number of times that you can play in pads and things like that. It's kind of crazy. It's a little bit, maybe we're again trying to be a little too safe, and maybe, I mean, there's ways to kind of meet it halfway where you're not, overly cautious, but you're also, helping to develop their game readiness and their game strength and things like that. There's ways. Hopefully they can come up with something a little better. But, hopefully we can get Will on here and we can talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be good.
Absolutely. What other hot topics are going on that you ladies want to talk about? Anything besides injuries from the first round of preseason games that stood out to you, or any observations you have, Sonja?
The really only game that I watched, obviously, was the Lions game, and I was pretty impressed. I mean, again, it's preseason. It's game number 1. I don't really read too much into it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I would say more impressed with, like, the O-line and things like that. Defense, I think as the game went on, they kind of picked it up a little bit. But, again, if we're trying to be somebody and make a statement, make a sound, you can't give up 3rd and 1s. You can't let them convert 3rd and 1s. Things like that. But overall, I was pretty pleased. I was pleased with Amir Abdullah's emergence. It was just nice because I've been wanting to see him, and so getting to see him, run those 46 yards was good, and just how he was moving. I think Coach Bowles, I really love the respect that you were giving him, but I don't think he's Barry Sanders just yet. Got a few more years to go before that, but he was good. So it was nice to see him. That was a nice little surprise. So that's good.
Did you catch any of Ndamukong's debut as a Dolphin?
No, I didn't catch any of his debut as a Dolphin. I was going to ask Lisa, though, if she's noticing a difference, if the team is noticing a difference, because she did do some interviews with them at training camps. So I would have to ask her if she talked to them about that. Mm-hmm. And I would love to know their answer, and if, how much of an impact is he making on their defensive line. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming it's a huge one, but I would just like to know that, just out of curiosity. And I can't wait for his first fine. That's just me.
Well, if past history is any gauge of that, you won't have to wait long.
No, probably won't have to wait too long. Oh, goodness.
Well, Marcus Mariota threw his first interception, so we got that out of the way.
Oh, good, because he's not going to throw any more, is he?
No, of course not. I mean...
Nope. He's done for the season.
He threw an interception, and he fumbled the snap. Bad exchange there, and so, welcome to the big leagues, Rook.
I was about to say, it's more just welcome to the big leagues. Yeah. I mean, how did he look? Did he look comfortable?
He settled in. Yeah, he settled in. It's first preseason game. You can't really... there are no big takeaways to be had from any of these games. Most of the young quarterbacks, Jimmy Garoppolo had a similar performance to Marcus. Now, he definitely has a year on Marcus.
Right.
Having sat behind Tom Brady for the most part last year. But there were some things from him that were promising, I was trying to think. We need to get Claire on here. I didn't get a chance to see it, but it sounds like Tom Savage got his time in the spotlight. We'll see what she thinks about that. So it's the best thing about preseason is getting to see some of these younger guys and see
exactly
where they are, if they're developing and things of that nature. So will you ladies watch any preseason games this weekend?
If I can find a couple, I think I will. I know, let's see, the Lions are playing the Skins this weekend, or actually Thursday, so I'll just be kind of seeing if there's any more improvement, looking at Lake and Tomlinson again on our offensive line, seeing things like that, our secondary, seeing if they're stepping into play, coming up on, just doing things like that. So that'll be the main thing that I'm looking at. In terms of any other players or any other teams, not too much right now. Just kind of, just seeing, because again, it's preseason. You're not going to see too much from people. So that's pretty much it. What about you, Miss Cat?
Yeah. I'll probably watch a little bit of Saints Pats. I'm not, like you said, it's preseason. I'll definitely try to check it out. If it's on TV, I'm not going to go out of my way to find it. I'm going to be honest. But it's always fun when you turn on the TV during preseason. You can just kind of flip through and you see a preseason game on. It is cool seeing the guys fighting for their jobs. It's fun.
And seeing these guys don't get medals for participating.
Yeah.
They just get see you later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they get paid, but yeah,
They
it's
get
not.
paid, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And, okay, let's be honest. It's not like we all wouldn't like to be paid just for doing some work for just, playing a game for a few hours. Oh,
Yes.
goodness. What about you, Sharona? You tuning into anything specific? Anything special?
I was looking at the schedule a little while ago just to see. Yeah, I'm just ready for week 1.
Yeah.
Give me the real stuff.
Yes.
Exactly.
Please.
Exactly. I'm ready
I want
to
it
see
to be real and spectacular.
and mean something. Yes. I'm really
Yes.
looking forward to that first game. I think it'll be very fun, very interesting. Just to watch and just be like, "Yay, football's back!" and enjoy the Twitter timeline because I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, it's preseason, not a whole lot shaking, so we could, probably knock off a little bit early tonight. But before we say goodbye, we do have some programming notes for you. The ladies of the Zone Blitz are looking to fill a fantasy football league, and so we're tossing around some ideas. We've thought about maybe doing a dynasty league. We might end up just doing I say standard, but a 12-team PPR IDP league, which might be a little bit better. So, but if you're interested, get at one of us out there in Twitter land. You can get at me on the Twitter sphere at Sports by Sharona, or tweet at Liz at NFL Female on the chat. Sorry, Liz, I'll get it right here in a minute. Or Sonja and Kat will give you their Twitter handles before we get out of here. The other thing is we are very, very, very happy to announce that we have another new addition. Our Cleveland Browns correspondent, Kate Aher. I'm right, Kate. I'm so bad at names. Is going to be joining us.
Cleveland Kate.
Cleveland Kate, hopefully next week, but in the near future. And as we have been promising you, fingers crossed, we hope to come live to you next week via Spreecast. If not next week, definitely the week after that. We want it to be launched in time for week 1 in the NFL. So we're still going through it, working out the kinks and getting everything worked out. But we got some exciting new segments coming up for you guys that will allow you an opportunity. And Spreecast allows you an opportunity to really interact with us, to ask questions. And if you ask a good question, we might just bring you on camera with us to talk about that question. So that's kind of cool.
So be ready. Get your popcorn
So
ready.
be ready for that. Get your popcorn ready. And and we're also going to be bringing you more fantasy football discussion in the upcoming week, so stay tuned for that. And Sonja, can you think of anything else?
No, I think you touched on it all. And we'll get into some trash talking.
Yes.
So hashtag Trash Talk Tuesday.
Trash Talk Tuesday is coming back. It's coming back.
It's coming back, and it's going to be great and better than ever. We got to get into Saints Falcons because that week on Twitter always kills me. I love it. I love watching the Saints and the Falcons fans go back and forth. Bears week, I love that week.
Bears Packers
going down. Bears Packers. Bears Lions. I just love it all. I love it. So, yeah, let's get some trash talk in here. Got to get our girl Lisa, queen of trash talk. Oh, goodness.
She's so good.
She is so good. So, yeah, get some trash talk going. So, if you're interested in the fantasy leagues, you can hit me up on Twitter at mom2 3RN. And, yeah, just can't wait to get into it. We got some great things coming. I think you guys will love it. And pretty much that's it.
All right, Kat, where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Lash-Williams.
The best Twitter name in the game. Every time I see you pop up on Twitter, I think about your pretty eyes and eyelashes. I don't know. I mean,
That's what I think.
go.
I
I
think
do
about
though.
eyelashes.
Yeah, right. Lash, and I think that's what I think about when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it. K Lash-Williams makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
My name's Kat with a K. Lash-Williams. There we go.
Right. Well, that is it for tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with another great episode of the Zone Blitz. Shout out to Liz, as always, for everything that she does. Big things incoming for NFL female. Get on it while you can.
Exactly. So you can say you knew us when.
Yep.
That's right.
All right, peoples.